Hey there, Trail Keepers and Facebook fans. Josh here, crew leader and South Coast Stewardship Coordinator with Trail Keepers of Oregon. And I'm here today with Luke Haworth with the U.S. Forest Service. Before we jump into the interview, I want to give a quick shout out to the Oregon Coast Visitors Association. They very generously fund a lot of the work that Trail Keepers of Oregon does out there on the Oregon coast. Good afternoon, Luke. I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us.
Yeah, no problem, Josh. Good seeing you.
The first thing I'll ask you is tell me about what your position is with the Forest Service and kind of what your very general responsibilities are.
Sure, yeah. So I work for the U.S. Forest Service, like you said, Siuslaw National Forest, Hebo Ranger District. I am the Trails and Develop Dispersed Recreation Coordinator. So I manage our trail system and most of our developed campgrounds and dispersed camping areas.
Very cool. What brought you into the U.S. Forest Service? What kind of got you set down that path?
I think just my general love for the outdoors and just the passion for the caring for the land and serving people. And I think I view nature as medicine. That's kind of something I really believe in. And so for me, what nature gives me, I wanted to be in a field that could provide that opportunity or experience for others. So, you know, working in trails and campgrounds, and you get to kind of see people have that, make those memories with their family, friends, and just hopefully get something back from the natural world.
Very cool. I think that's a pretty common sentiment of folks who are in outdoor-oriented positions, advocacy and stewardship positions, myself included. I think that folks who are very passionate about the outdoors get a healing, a rejuvenation from that, and it seems to be very common to want to spread that to other people. And I think that's a really exciting motivation for a living.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Trail Keepers of Oregon and the Siuslaw Forest have forged a pretty recent partnership here over the last couple years, and I'm curious what your perspective as a land manager, what the benefits of that partnership is.
Yeah, well, it's been nothing but great. You know, I remember going back, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, to the first TKO tread school. And I met Steve, the director, and some other folks involved, and you know that they were talking about getting stuff rolling on the coast. Just I value the expertise that TKO has. I value the you guys' network with volunteers. I think something for us as land managers, we're constantly looking for how can we network, how can we partner with other groups, volunteers, get people out on the land, get people to help us. So to have a group like TKO that is already super knowledgeable in how to do things in the trail world, has tools, has a volunteer capacity, it's huge. And there's not a lot of, I mean, there's certainly, you know, the partnership and working together, but it's a lot of times just letting you guys do your thing, which to have that trust, to have that faith in you guys is huge for us. I've had nothing but great times working out there with you guys on the currently closed section of the OCT and the North Cascade Head Trail. Crew leaders are great, volunteer groups are great. So it's been a really good partnership, and I think that's something that our agency as we evolve, we're really shifting towards those partnership opportunities, especially in the recreation world. You know, we work a lot with like youth corps programs, conservation corps, TKO, other trail related groups. So that's a lot of how we get our jobs done.
Yeah.
So it's great. And, you know, and then the relationship component, just building, you know, having friendships with people and networking and being a community, that's part of it. And so it's been great.
Yeah, there's a close knit feeling to the outdoor community that is certainly something that attracted me initially when I started. I started originally as a volunteer with Trail Keepers of Oregon, and really bought into the whole message. And I think you're hitting on a lot of the reasons for that.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge that the Forest Service faces in doing trail maintenance?
Well, yeah, I would say just our funding in general. I think that, 20, 30 years ago, it used to be that the trail world was, very in-house. It was, you had big trail crews, everything was very much done internally. We've shifted that mentality, maybe, due to cutting of funding, but also just based upon our core values, moving towards working with other people and partnerships. So I think that it's a good thing. I mean, we're still able to get a lot of stuff done with the partnerships that we have, and by building those partnerships, it's almost sometimes better than having everything kept in house, because you have multiple groups working together. So yeah, I would just say in general, it's the funding, but by getting grants, by working with partners, those things are allowing us to continue to move forward.
Yeah, and I think it's beneficial for the Forest Service to be engaging in creating that sort of community. Like we're saying, when you bring folks into the process of maintaining the places they love, you're only engendering future stewardship and more advocacy for these spaces.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's an effective route to take, and it certainly gives an organization like TKO plenty of opportunities to do some really good work and really expand reach and get projects done that you guys otherwise couldn't. I know that's part of the reason that this northern section of the Rainforest Trail has been closed, is just simply the lack of resources to reopen it. And so these partnerships where we're able to come in and help you guys do that, I think they're super beneficial for everybody.
Absolutely.
What's the favorite part of your job there in the Forest Service?
Well, being outside, that's a huge benefit. That's a good office to play in. Yeah, and like just kind of how I talked before, I mean, being able to see people coming to the forest, experiencing the outdoor world, hiking, camping, being with their families, being friends, making memories, all that stuff, stays with you for a long time. And so knowing how it affects me and how it can affect them going forward in their life, I think that's what keeps me doing it, really. I mean, it's seeing that joy and that those good times that people have when they come out into the forest. So
Yeah, it's a nice rejuvenation from spending an afternoon buried in paperwork to go out and sort of see the results of that back end administrative type of work.
absolutely.
Excellent. Well, there's an awful lot of folks who are becoming more engaged in public spaces, becoming more engaged in stewardship. Um, and I was wondering what sort of advice you would give someone who's looking to enter a career in outdoor recreation or outdoor advocacy or stewardship.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's an ever growing industry, really. And so there's a lot more opportunities that are coming up. Um, in terms of the Forest Service and the land agency perspective, I think that a great way is just volunteering. I mean, starting out with your love of nature, outdoors, get out there, volunteer with groups like TKO, groups, other trail related groups. I think that goes a long way, building experience, working out on the land. I also think that, conservation corps programs, youth corps programs are huge for our youth today, because it's a gateway into this kind of world. It's a gateway to work outside, to do something that's a little bit different than what they might grow up thinking, you know, life's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's healthy, you know. So and a lot of times with those youth corps programs, you can have or you receive some credit or some education award, or sometimes even non-competitive eligibility for public land agency jobs. So that would be my advice in terms of how to maybe streamline the process of if you're really interested in going down that path. But yeah, just getting out, getting your hands dirty, working with other crews. We're always, you know, Forest Service is always welcoming volunteers. I know your guys' group's always welcoming volunteers. So
Absolutely.
there's opportunities for a lot of people to get involved.
Excellent. Very cool. Pivoting away from our sort of trail related questions, tell me about your favorite concert you've ever attended.
Ooh, I would probably say that my favorite concert was the Allman Brothers Band. That was in Columbus, Ohio. I'm originally from Indiana, so
Okay.
that was back in the Midwest. Outdoor concert. It was awesome. I don't know. It was just very memorable. It stays with me. It was one of my favorite bands growing up, and
Okay.
I got into the classic rock scene, you know. So yeah, I'm not that old. Just so everybody knows, I'm not that old. But I did the whole classic rock thing, and
I
yeah.
had a very similar track. I was very much engaged in classic rock as a younger man, and one of my favorite all-time concerts was a Rush concert. It was an outdoor show at the Gorge Amphitheater in Washington, and there's something about the vibe of a 70s band
Yeah.
in an outdoor venue that just, it really lends itself to a very quintessential concert experience.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible musicianship. It's, you know, I mean, I played the drums, so it's like, if you're somewhat musically inclined, it's just those kinds of experiences. Rush,
Yeah.
they're up there for me. Neil
Yeah.
Peart, rest in peace, man.
R.I.P.
He's the greatest.
Well, Luke, I think we just became best friends over this Zoom interview somehow. Who could have expected such a result?
Hey, music brings people together.
It's true.
Just like nature.
It's true. So before I leave you to the rest of your day, tell me what your ideal vacation might look like.
It's a good one. I like to have a good combination of cultural experience, adventure, and usually something where you can, you know, learn a new skill while you're there, wherever you go. I don't have a particular place right off the top of my head, but that, you know, having all of those things combined, I really like being, if I'm going on a trip, just to be completely immersed in a different world. And yeah.
Well, and that's a great template that you can take and apply to almost any area and craft your ideal vacation regardless of where you're going. So I think that's a great way to go about it. Luke, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know that our land manager partners are super busy right now, and I really appreciate you taking time to chat with me and our Facebook groups out there. I want to encourage everyone to keep an eye on the Trail Keepers of Oregon webpage. It's trailkeepersofOregon.org as we continue to roll out some in-person volunteer opportunities and a cavalcade of digital excitement and some cool stuff to get folks out on the trails and reporting on the condition so that we know where the work needs to be done. And Luke, I will bid you a good afternoon. I will bid our fans out there on the internet a good afternoon, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.